Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. I'm your host, Mike Kilroy, and we have a really good show here tonight. We have some special guests, the Redbank Valley Girls Wrestling Team. They're off to a great start this season. They have some big tournaments coming up. We have three of their top wrestlers here tonight. One's hurt, but that happens, right? And we have Coach Ben Carrillo and Coach Braley Shoemaker. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to have a big show tonight. We're going to spin the wheel a few times. We're going to talk about girls wrestling, the fastest growing sport in the United States right now. We're going to talk about the success these girls have had, the success already the Redbank Valley wrestling program has had, and what the future holds for the sport and for these girls. So thanks for coming, guys. We're going to go around. We're going to introduce each other before our first break, and then we're going to come back to the magic wheel. So let's start with you. Just go around and say your names and introduce yourselves.
I'm Kiana Shemp.
I'm Iris Wrights.
I'm Libby Rapp.
I'm Braley Shoemaker.
I'm Ben Carrillo.
And we will be back here to spin the wheel after this break. This is the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, also sponsored by Dubrook. I'm Mike Kilroy, and we're going to have a fun show here tonight. So when we come back, we'll see what our first prize is on the Durstein Window and Door prize wheel.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's Kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695. This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No, Tionesta Builder Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first. The Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at CooperTire.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires.
Hi, my name is Jason and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit dubrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, which is also sponsored by Dubrook. We are here at the Durstein Window and Door Prize Wheel. We have Iris Wrights here getting ready to spin. Some great prizes up here, Iris. Are you ready?
Yes.
Give it a spin. Let's see what we get. Oh, you gave it a good spin.
Yes.
Oh, you just missed a $20 cash. Maybe it'll come around again the way you spun. Oh, it's the Taylor Swift book, which Chase Ferguson had won. So you have to spin again.
Okay.
Spin one more time and see what you get. Oh, you did a little light one that time. Oh, the Cousin Basil gift card. Good job.
Oh.
Good job. You got the Cousin Basil gift card. All right, we're going to go back, sit down, and we're going to talk some wrestling with our Redbank Valley wrestling team, girls wrestling team, and once we get all situated here, we'll start again. And again, thank you guys for coming. It's an honor to have you guys. And Coach, I want to start with you. Girls wrestling, like I said in the intro, fastest growing sport in the country. You've seen it just explode. How exciting has it been to take over this program, start this program basically, and see the success already that Redbank's had?
Well, I'll say that the start of the program didn't start with me. It started with Coach Mike Kilroy and my dad, Ruben Carrillo, down at the high school, being the big front runners of it. Coming into the program, like I said in the paper that we did, the thrill of watching the sport grow and be part of making the history was kind of the front runner that Redbank wanted to be one of the very first teams in Western PA. To kind of be an alumni throughout the years as the sport gets bigger and bigger. I don't think it was up until January this year whenever D1, D2, and D3 decided within 3-day span, starting with D1 on a Wednesday, ending with D3 on a Friday, to sanction it at the college level to have the first national tournament in Philadelphia this year really sat in for the expectation for the girls to have something to strive for.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, throughout the years, you've had girls trying to compete, and everybody knows the backstory that as soon as you get so far deep or hit certain weight classes that just males just overpower, that finally girls have something to strive for on all levels.
Yeah, and Coach, how did you get involved with the program, and how did you come into this?
So, I mean, I wrestled at Redbank through high school, and after college came back, I was coaching the boys. They needed an assistant. I mean, before girls existed, I coached Kiana when she was on the boys team, so just kind of got pulled into it, and it's been all in ever since.
What are your thoughts? How excited are you to see the sport just go through this tremendous growth, and it's still growing and it's still gaining popularity?
I think it's great. I mean, we had a couple girls when we were in high school that did wrestle, even against boys. You know, it's really tough for them. You know, there's such a strength difference, but it's nice to see them get a fair opportunity to achieve goals that maybe weren't so easy back then.
Yeah, and we have quite a good mix here of wrestlers. You all kind of started at a little bit different times. I know before the show, Libby, you and I were talking, this is only your second year. What made you decide last year that you wanted to kind of throw your hat in the ring, so to speak, and become a wrestler?
Well, Iris is my best friend, and she's been wrestling for like ever, and I'd be like at home doing nothing, and I'd ask Iris to come over and go out to eat or something, and she'd be like, no, I can't, cutting weight, or like I'm at wrestling. So I was like, well, might as well try it too. because I used to play basketball, but I did not like it.
Yeah. Well, you obviously like wrestling a lot. What was those first few days like when you came out for wrestling? It must have been something like a learning curve. It must have been an eye-opening experience for you, right?
It definitely was a lot different than any other sport I've tried. And I started last year on junior high, so it was the boys and girls. So I was kind of a little freaked out, and everything you do is just like so out of the ordinary. Like the first thing you like do, like you start to learn. It's like this. I feel like I look stupid, but everybody else is doing it, so might as well learn.
Yeah. Was there a point where you thought, when you knew this was going to be something you wanted to keep doing?
Probably after I finally started to like figure it out, and Iris wasn't like beating the crap out of me anymore.
I'm sure Iris helped you out a lot. How much support did you get from your teammates like Iris? That must have helped a lot too, being a little bit newer maybe to the sport as some of the others. I'm sure you came into with some new wrestlers too. I'm sure they helped you guys out tremendously.
Yeah, last year it was me and Emma Cravener. We were the only other two girls on junior high, so we were both like learning at the same time and both figuring it out ourselves.
So what do you enjoy most about the sport?
Probably just the family that comes with it and the feeling when you win.
Yeah, and you've won a good amount this year before your injury. Obviously that's a bummer. How are you dealing with that? Because no one likes to get hurt, especially at this point of the season when you have some, you have districts and regionals, and I'm sure you're hoping to go to state. To have an injury happen now.
I mean, it sucks. I mean, I broke it on Monday, so a couple of days before districts, but I mean, can't really do anything about it now. Just look forward to next season, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sure you're still with the team, supporting your good friend Iris and everyone. Does that help being around the team still, even though you're hurt?
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little boring if I'm sitting at practice and I can't do anything, but I mean, might as well just keep going. I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, and Iris, she was talking about only 2 years. You've been wrestling a long time. I've done a couple stories on you, the reasons why you started. If you can tell our viewers who might not know, you started pretty young.
Yeah, I started when I was in 3rd grade, I believe. Originally, my dad and my brother wrestled, so I kind of wanted to be like them, I guess, in a way. But everybody had told me I couldn't wrestle, so it kind of just made me want to do it more.
Yeah, and Shiana, you too, you've been wrestling a while.
Yeah, I grew up around wrestling. My brothers wrestled with my coaches now. So I grew up around it. I mean, I wrestled like half of a year, and then I quit, and then I came back, and I've been with it ever since.
Yeah, and Kiana, I know you play softball at a very high level. Iris, you play soccer at a very high level. Do you play any other sports, or is wrestling it now?
I play soccer too.
Play soccer too. But going back to you, Kiana, you've really kind of made strides year after year after year. How important is this time of the year for you now? I know you have some really big goals.
Yeah, this time of season's really important to me. I mean, I have people I want to wrestle. I definitely want to make it to states for my last year. It'd be a good book on me, I guess. Send me out, but.
Yeah, obviously these three are kind of what it's all about, right? You have one wrestler who started last year. One has been wrestling for a while. Another one who's been wrestling for a while. As a coach, it's got to be fun to see the mix, kind of the melting pot of different skill levels and trying to get the most out of all of them.
The growth over the season has been phenomenal. You get Coach Kundick or my dad or even Coach Cressman, Coach Doug Briley, Coach Wrightsy in the room, and we all start talking. They'll say from the time that we started, just the basic drills, because we started in October, like I said, with preseason and letting people like Libby, they came in and junior high level and kind of get their feet wet and all that. My dad will say from the time that they started in October till now, it's completely day and night. The drills aren't hard anymore. The strength is there. I mean, first round of push-ups in the wrestling room was a little strenuous. We'll say that. But it is. It's awesome to watch the girls grow and just the knowledge and the sport. It's awesome to watch it click. You know, I told you that in the paper. A big one is every time one of these girls win, even Iris, every time one of these girls win, it is the closest thing that us coaches get, just the look in their eye when they win, to what it felt like when we wrestled. That's true across the board at every level of them because of the excitement, because of the sportsmanship, and it's addicting.
Yeah, it is addicting. You know, you've seen it as a wrestler, both of you, and now you see it as a coach. You really do kind of almost live vicariously through them and get joy from their successes. Lots of success here. What are your goals? What are your expectations for these girls going forward, Iris and Kiana? I know they're two of your you're promising. You feel like big things are ahead for them.
I do. At the end of the day, you know, we talked before we came up here at the end of practice, and we said lose, win. At the end of all of this, as long as you yourself puts everything out on the mat, you know, not to toot our own horn, but we think their conditioning's phenomenal. I'll say that we have 3 college level matches going with overtime every day. I mean, they don't like us by the end of practice, but their conditioning, we would say, is phenomenal. Their technique has come so far. Our expectation is high, but at the same rate, we just want them to have fun. You know, scores 0-0 right now, postseason feelings, trying to keep their jitters under control a little bit, because unless you wrestled a postseason tournament, you don't know that first match, no matter whether you're a top seed or you're a low seed, the jitters are always the worst out of every tournament you've ever wrestled.
Yeah, for sure. Before we go to our next break, wrestling obviously is not for the faint of heart. You got to be so proud that they go to practice and they work so hard. I mean, what can you say about the work ethic of this team? What do you want?
I mean, it's impressive to see. You know, they a lot stronger than you might think they were mentally and physically, obviously. Always pushing themselves. You know, we always say, you know, get 1% better every day at something, whether it's technique, conditioning, strength. That's just something we try to build on.
Yeah, when you guys came in, you were talking about how sore you were and your back was hurting and you're cutting weight, you're trying to get ready. But it's all worth it, right? Just quickly, just tell me what makes you keep coming back even through some of the things that you have to do to be a wrestler.
At the end of the day, for me, it's always seeing the work that I'm putting in every day. It does pay off, and that it is worth it whenever you're getting your hand raised and you're at the top of the podium.
Kiana?
Pretty much what Iris said. I started with the boys, obviously. I just love to watch the program grow. So I really want to inspire anybody that I can.
I'm sure that's one of the things that A, made you start, and B, has kept you going, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just pretty much what they said.
Yeah. All right, well, on that note, we were going to take our break. When we come back, who's going to be at the wheel? Everyone's looking at Kiana. I guess Kiana's going to be at the wheel. We're going to do the wheel again. This is the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. I'm Mike Kilroy, your host. Show's also sponsored by Dubrook. When we come back, we'll do the wheel, and then we'll talk some more with the Redbank Valley girls wrestling team.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No. Tionesta Builders Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville. Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit DuBrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Hi, my name is Jason and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, which is also sponsored by Dubrook. I'm Mike Kilroy and we're at the Durstein Window and Door Prize Wheel. We're gonna have two spins here. We're gonna have a bonus spin. So, but first we'll start with Kiana. Give it a good spin. You can be a little bit more excited about it. I know you've been eyeing that toilet paper up here. Oh, we missed the toilet paper. Well, maybe next time. Again, wow, this Taylor Swift book has been very popular. Try again, you might get the toilet paper. Or the sardines. I know you're excited about the sardines. Oh, another gift card. Man, we're giving out Cousin Basil gift cards left and right today. Congratulations. All right, Libby, you try to make it a trifecta if you can get that Cousin Basil gift card. Give it a good spin. If you have to spin again, we're going to make you do it with your other arm.
I can try.
Oh, look at this.
No.
Can you believe that? Wow. Well, Cousin Basil, you're going to get some hungry wrestlers after the season coming in to your restaurant. So this has been the Durstein prize wheel, window and door prize wheel, and we're going to go back and talk some more with the Redbank Valley wrestling team. I should spin, see if I can get it, and see if we can do it for. Oh, no, I have to spin again. Well, we'll do that later. I almost had to do the dance party. That would have been bad. No one wants to see me dancing, that's for sure. All right. Again, we're here with the Redbank Valley girls wrestling team, and We're going to talk a little bit about kind of the stigma about girls wrestling. It's really, really changed. About 22 years ago, even 10 years ago, there was a little bit of a stigma with it. But now it's like I said, it's the fastest growing sport. It's very accepted, and people are realizing what quality wrestling that can be seen on the mats on girls wrestling. Right, Coach?
Yeah, so I'll say this. I went to college out in Washington State, and when I wrestled for Highline, Washington State had already established girls wrestling. It was a major part of the community out there, and we're talking 8 years ago. I was in Washington State. Coming back to Pennsylvania and seeing that PA, which is the grandfather of all wrestling, everybody says the best wrestlers come out of PA. Us being so late to the game is, looking at it now, is just shocking, because we did an injustice to the girls for the last 10, 20 years. Now, you talk to people, like I've talked to certain girls my age, or if not a little older than me, that have said, like, I just couldn't have imagined myself wrestling. Like, just back in that era, it wasn't a thing. And maybe it's because more and more days, these younger girls, social media influence, maybe it's telling them that they have a chance. Maybe because of social media that they're seeing it in other states, that's saying, hey, if that's happening in that state, why can't it happen in this state?
I think part of it too was there really wasn't a good place for girls to wrestle. They had to go on a boys team.
Yep.
And like you mentioned, you get to a certain point where it doesn't matter how good of a wrestler you are, the boys are going to overpower you.
Yep.
So now it's a even playing field for these girls, and they're seeing success. And like you told me a story too about how someone who went with you who had never seen a girls wrestling before was just amazed by the quality and by the competitiveness of these girls.
Yep, Coach Markey. We didn't even introduce him to them that morning. They all looked at us when we got to the Powerade, and they said, Coach, who's that guy standing in our corner? And we said, oh, that's Coach Markey. Let's let him roll with it. I'll say this. This is a big thing that we tell the girls. It's not just about the wrestling, right? Wrestling's a big factor on it, but you finally get to take those life lessons that we learned, those strives, those never breaking adversity challenges, and we finally get to coach it to the girls. But, when I go, and Iris and Libby went with me this year to Union to present it to those girls, we finally gave them a different outlook. Like, there's an older generation, like my wife's grandma, that kind of just doesn't get it. But on the outside of it, you look at her and you go, law enforcement. We just opened the door for the girls to go into law enforcement. You're now not taking a girl that's never been put in those situations or those aggressive practices, stressed out, having to lose weight, not having to lose weight, but having to do battle one-on-one martial arts style. You are now giving them the opportunity to make them more successful in a law enforcement career, in a military career. Wrestling is the closest thing to a boot camp that these guys can get.
It's a great point.
Yeah, and it's just opened the doors. Now that college is there, now they have their door that they can learn at an earlier age to get to the Olympics, to make that stride.
Yeah, and you guys, I know Iris, again, we talked about kind of the stigma and how kind of breaking barriers. You were, because you started so young, you saw all that coming up through. Can you talk about that a little bit, kind of the stigma that you saw and how it's changed? It's changed so much for you guys.
Yeah, so anytime I think about when I first started wrestling and how it was, I remember my second tournament, my dad took me, it was the Du Bois Tough Man tournament. And there was supposed to be a girls bracket, but there ended up not being any girls other than me. So I was in the boys bracket, and my dad told me, he was like, oh, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So I went and gave it a try. And I remember right before I wrestled, a little boy was like, it's a girl, it'll be easy. And then I ended up winning the tournament. So I felt like after that, then I feel like girls just started proving that it's not easy just because we're a girl. We've always had to put in twice as much work to hang with them, I feel like. So we just kind of proved that even though we are girls, we're just as tough.
It's got to be great, though, to see that change, that sea change, where now people don't give it a second look now, most people anymore. Talk about that. Talk about how good of a feeling that is, that it's being so accepted now and so prevalent now. Every state has it. It's sanctioned just about everywhere. PIAA sanctions it. It's got to be a great feeling to kind of see that growth and be a part of it, you guys, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like as girls, it's like a whole big community. We're all family. Even our opponents, like, we all want the same goal at the end, and yeah, it's definitely really cool to see it all.
Yeah, and Kiana, did you encounter any of that when you first started? And I'm sure you've seen the big change too.
Yeah, definitely. So when I wrestled with the boys, Coach Mike didn't really send me out much because I have a softball career that I'm really big into. He's like, I don't want to chance you getting hurt. When I did get sent out, I got my butt beat, but that just motivated me more to be in the room more, working harder. So that's what I did. I took my losses and put more work into it, really, and I'm here today, I guess. But it's good to be on a girls' team. It feels more like fair, I guess.
Yeah. Where do you guys ultimately want to see the sport go? Where you want to go in the sport and where you want to see the sport go? You're just starting out. I'm sure sky's the limit for you as a freshman who's only been wrestling for 2 years, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see that other girls see it as like a normal sport, not just like, oh, you wrestle. That's kind of odd. Like, it's like they'll talk to you and they'll be like, I could never do that, because they don't see it as like a normal sport that you can do, like all the basketball or soccer that girls have been doing for a long time. It would just be nice if they could see it and sit through a practice or something.
Yeah, and Iris, I know you've been a big proponent of bringing the sport more into the mainstream, and I know you have some really big goals for yourself on the wrestling mat.
Yeah, definitely. Placing at states this year is my goal for the season, but just taking it one match at a time, and at the end of my high school career, I'd like to wrestle in college. So.
Yeah, I know you're having 25 wins already this year. I think you have 18 or 19 pins. So when you go on the mat, what's the first thing you're thinking of right before the match starts? What are you looking for? What are you trying to kind of do? Obviously, you want to establish yourself right away.
Yeah, when my pre-match warm-up, I guess you could say, is I walk around and sometimes I just kind of visualize how my match is. I go right to my ties, and it's just I drill the same thing every single day, so it's the repetition, and as soon as I'm out there, I know right what I'm going to go for.
How about you, Keon? What goes through your mind before a match?
My mind before a match, I really just like to stay to myself. A lot of people like to come up to me, talk to me, but I really do like to stay to myself. I like to think about what I'm going to do and just try to get the win. But
yeah, and you all play other sports. I know, like you said, softball is kind of your number one sport. Iris, you had a great soccer season, but wrestling is your number one sport. And you also play soccer. How much is it important for you to play other sports while you wrestle? Because wrestling is very demanding. It's a lot of time, but you still find time to do other sports. How important is that to you, especially for you, Kiana? Because it's not your number one sport. Softball is, but still you're putting in the time to be the best wrestler you can be.
yeah, so definitely at the beginning of my wrestling season, it's just straight wrestling. Towards the end, it does get a little tough because we start softball open gyms, and it's pretty flexible because I have softball on Sundays and we don't have wrestling on Sundays, so it's pretty nice. But it's I don't know, it's nice to get another sport kind of in the mix, but when it's wrestling season, I like to focus on wrestling season.
Yeah, and obviously wrestling is your number one sport, so that's kind of where you go to a lot of tournaments in the summer and do all that, but you still find time to play soccer. Was that important to you to try to give yourself another athletic outlet, so to speak, so you're not wrestling 24/7, 365, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely was. Most of the time I went to soccer practice and then to wrestling practice, but it was good. Soccer's always been a super fun sport to me. I've done it since I was little, so it was important to still do it.
Yeah, and obviously very athletic girls here. How important is that to have girls that are not only athletic but put the time in and are committed. I mean, it seems like you don't have any problem with commitment from your wrestlers.
No, not at all. We have them pretty much bought into the program. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, they're all showing up every day unless they're sick and can't make it in or injured. That's really the only excuse that we ever get. So
no, we have them bought in. I'll say for the most part, we have a goal. Outside of Kiana leaving us this year, Iris, Libby, and Sadie are pretty much next in line for the oldest one, so we're a young team.
Yeah.
And the goal is that in 2 years' time, when the junior high that were 7th graders this year come up as freshmen, that we are going to walk in and have that old school Redbank Valley feeling that Redbank showed up to a tournament. This is going to stink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've sat down with the younger girls and we said we are going to go in 2 years to win not just individuals, but we're going to win team tournament wise. And hopefully by that time that Iris and Libby are juniors, there's a team state tournament because there's enough teams that are full enough that we can participate in that.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of seen it every year. It seems to get bigger and bigger, so you're going to start maybe seeing that kind of thing. How exciting is that? And that's obviously the ultimate goal. You want the girls to have every opportunity that the boys have.
Correct.
In the state and beyond.
Correct. You know, that's a big thing that me and Coach Briley said is we know the feeling of the Redbank Valley walking into a tournament and not just it being competitive for us individually under Coach Mike, but it was team-wise. We were watching team points consistently throughout the whole tournament. Pins, bonus points, all that mattered throughout. We do it a little bit. We got excited this year out of 35 teams down at the Powerade that we were 15th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we consistently stayed in that middle hunt, even only putting about 7 girls in a tournament at max with us. Junior high, phenomenal. We had enough for the point getters to get there that they stayed in the hunt normally around the top 10.
Yeah. Now, does the boys team and the girls team, do they help each other at the school? Do they interact? Do they give each other do they follow each other?
I would say that the relationship between the boys and girls is, I saw it up at Kernsville more than I have all year. And each team, and I said this, fed off of each other. When the boys junior high went out and won, then the girls junior high went out, and then our girls varsity missed it by a hair. It fed off of each other the whole way to the varsity boys. And that, seeing the Redbank Valley wrestling teams combined for one massive try to shut out, was phenomenal. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you must see the interaction and see the parallels between the two programs.
yeah, and I think seeing like the success the girls are having is pushing some of the boys to maybe push themselves a little harder, and everyone kind of feeds off each other and everyone wants to do better, obviously. So I think it's great for the program as a whole.
Yeah, you have the same challenges any wrestler has, right? I mean, you were talking about you have to cut weight for the tournament coming up and everything. A lot of people don't realize how much goes into what you have to do off the mat and how disciplined you have to do. Before we go to break, just talk about the discipline that you have to have, all hours of the day, not just when you're at practice, not just on match. You really have to watch what you're doing during wrestling season, right?
Yeah, so wrestling, it requires all of you. You have to be in a good mental space for it as well. So just watching what you're eating, making smart lifestyle decisions, everything you're doing plays into how you're going to perform on the weekend. So.
All right, well, we'll take another break. This is the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. I'm Mike Kilroy, your host. It's also sponsored by Dubrook. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll talk about all the action-packed weekend we have with basketball playoffs starting tomorrow. So see you when we get back.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Need reliable plumbing or heating services? Call Luton's Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, and available 24/7. Call them at 814-226-8695. The Cooper Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT, our most trusted truck tire, is now better than ever and available for your truck or SUV. They're designed for the reliability and durability to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the reliable Discoverer Road Plus Trail AT at CooperTire.com. Count on Cooper. Or stop by Carly Tires in Clarion. Carly Tires, the area's largest selection of tires.
Your eyes are the window to your soul, so take care of them. The Laurel Eye Clinic provides complete care from annual exams, glasses and contacts to cataract and retinal surgery, LASIK, and more. As a trusted leader in family eye care for 50 years, you can trust them with yours. Call or visit us online today.
At Clarion County Community Bank, you're more than just a number. With personalized service and modern conveniences, they make banking easy. Clarion County Community Bank, where community comes first.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
This game is brought to you by Tionesta Builders? No. Tionesta Builders Supply. Family-owned and operated home improvement centers located in Tionesta and Shippenville.
Dubrook is your trusted ready-mix concrete supplier. From commercial to residential, Dubrook has you covered. Call 1-844-DUBROOK or visit DuBrooking.com. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities. Dubrook, your solid choice in all things concrete.
Modern Living Solutions in Knox is always on the lookout for driven, positive individuals to join their team. They offer career growth opportunities and industry-leading pay. No experience is necessary as training is provided. Apply today and build a future with Modern Living Solutions.
Affordable opportunities are endless at Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. If you're looking to start next semester or next year, apply now at discovernprc.org. discovernprc.org.
And welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show, which is also sponsored by Dubrook. We're here with a couple coaches and 3 wrestlers from the Redbank Valley Girls Wrestling Team, and we had a nice conversation here during the break about how tough you got to be a wrestler. Obviously, you know that firsthand with the elbow. Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart. How do you prepare yourself mentally for the physical toll the sport plays on you?
Well, at the start of the season, it's definitely a lot harder, and then it just kind of starts getting easier. I mean, you never walk out of the room not sweaty, so you just always get through it, I guess. Yeah, you get hurt, you just go home, sleep over, and go back the next day.
Yeah, you're talking too about when you broke your elbow, you knew exactly it was broken when it happened, and you said that everything was kind of not where it was supposed to be.
It was not pretty
painful, but you know, obviously that goes with the sport, right? I'm sure that wasn't your first wrestling injury in these last 2 years.
It's not my first, but it's definitely the worst so far. hopefully
Yeah.
last, but
Yeah, and Iris, you've been wrestling so long, you've had injuries. How do you deal with them? Obviously, you know you're going to get hurt. You know you're going to get elbows in the face. You know you're going to sprain things. You're going to break things. You're going to otherwise get maimed. But you have to battle through that.
Somebody explained it to me once that like you're never gonna feel 100% ever. So sometimes the best you're gonna feel 70%. So somehow you have to make 70% your best and wrestle to your fullest ability.
That's really, really, really good. That's a really good insight. And Kiana, you know, with wrestling not being your top sport in softball, coming right after wrestling, you got to go out there. You can't worry though, right? You got to go out there and just wrestle. Because if you worry about it, that's when you're going to get hurt. But you've been pretty good in the injury front.
Definitely. I always go out and try to give it my 100%. Sometimes I may only give it 80%, but if my opponent does something I don't like, I definitely kick it and clutch it. I'm like, okay, I'm mad. So, I don't know. It really depends on how my opponent reacts to me, I guess.
So you have a mean streak, sounds
Yeah.
like. Yeah, don't get on Kiana's bad side on the mat. You might feel her wrath, right? But you know, we talked about how tough wrestlers have to be, and they're every bit as tough as any wrestler you've been around in your room. How much do you admire that these girls show up day after day, bumps and bruises, cutting weight, maybe not their best, but they still show up and give you everything they have.
Well, the girls are unfortunate to have me and Coach Briley as coaches.
Oh, yeah?
Because Coach Briley was actually my wrestling partner. And there wasn't a day that went by that me, Briley, and Cale Haynes didn't walk out of the room with a black eye or a bloody lip or a bloody nose. Mostly was encouraged by my dad. So their misunfortunate is that me and Coach Briley push them to that limit. You know, we tell the girls that the better wrestling partners and the more physical wrestling partners that they can be, it's not going to be a shell shock, especially the newer ones. If I can put Libby, Iris, and Kiana with one of the newer girls to kind of get that shell shock gone, it's not a surprise when they step on the mat against another girl, the physicality of the sport.
So being, you know what it's like in a wrestling room. Sounds like you bring that same intensity as a coach to these girls in a wrestling room. They handle it pretty well, it sounds like. It sounds like they don't back down from a challenge.
Yeah, they're more resilient than when you think. We push them just as hard as you would any wrestler. It's all the same, and they step right up to the challenge every time.
Yeah, and was that like, did you find that too, the first few days of high school wrestling, that you got pushed and you were, pushed to your limit? And did you appreciate that? You must have appreciated that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I liked it a lot, but at sometimes I'm not happy with Ben and Briley when they make us do 3 college matches and then run for 5 minutes. But I mean, at the end of the day, we do appreciate it, because in a match, you're lasting third period, and then your opponent isn't. So.
Yeah, you have to see that, right? You have to notice some of these tight matches come that third period. Does it come to your mind? That's what all those hard, intense practices were. That's what all that running and all that work went into, so I can be at my best in this moment.
Yeah, whenever you step onto the mat, you kind of just know. You're like, I've put in the work. Like in your head, you just know I've worked harder than she has. My conditioning's better than hers is. So kind of in your head, you're just like, if I make it all 3 periods, I'm gonna come out on top.
Yeah, how important was it for you guys to not pull punches, right? Because there might be even not consciously but subconsciously a desire to maybe pull punches with a girls wrestling program. It sounds like you're not pulling punches. You're teaching these girls just like you would any other wrestling team, right?
Yeah, so we kind of have at least I'm honest with the girls. I'm a lot nicer at the beginning of the season than I am at the end of the season. And I remind them that about every couple weeks in November, and then in December comes around and I say, hey, I'm not going to be as nice here. By the time Powerade hits, my demeanor switches. And then by postseason, like my dad will say, and they told us, Coach Mike and Coach Cressman, you don't want the nice coach in your corner. You know, and by that time, the girls have learned to control the anger and hone it in to making them more resilient to using their moves and becoming more focused on a mental state. You know, that's a big part of college wrestling that me and Coach Briley have brought from different coaches. It's learning how to hone it in and use it to your advantage.
Yeah. How appreciative are you of your coaches? It sounds like they do a phenomenal job teaching you wrestling, teaching you the mental part, teaching you what it takes to be a top-notch wrestler.
I mean, during practice, we're kind of like, well.
Yeah, you don't like them so much, right?
Yeah, you're not really my favorite person right now, but at the end of the day, when it comes to it, we do appreciate them and everything they do for us and for always pushing us to be our best.
Well, that's a mark of a great coach, right? You don't like them sometimes, but you like them when the results come in, when you know that they're there for you, they're in your corner. Like Coach said, you don't want a nice coach, you want someone to push you. How much have these coaches really helped you develop as a wrestler?
They've definitely helped me a lot. I wrestle Coach Briley a lot at practice, so he definitely makes me work for what I want. Like when I shoot, he definitely makes me work for it. My headlocks, it's my go-to move, so he definitely makes me work for it. But overall, I'm grateful for all my coaches because they built me the person I am today, definitely, like mentally and physically. So.
Yeah. It sounds like they took you from a really, really raw newbie to someone who's going to make a big impact on this team in the future. How does that feel to know that you've gone so far already, and just how much better do you think you're going to get in these next 3 years with these guys?
Yeah, I look back from last year and I was like, I don't know how I grew so much. I mean, my junior high coaches, they taught me like the basics and everything like that, and then these two, they taught me how to get better, I guess, and then just being there every day, it's just helping me so much.
Yeah, and you guys have built a pretty good roster, lots of participation. Obviously, you want to keep that going. How do you keep that going? How do you keep this program that's been blessed with wrestlers like this who are committed and good and really want to be there? Obviously, you want to keep that going. You want the younger girls to come up and have that same attitude. How do you do that? I mean, that's a challenge for any program at any school, but for girls wrestling, I imagine it's still a pretty sizable dilemma that you have to tackle.
So the culture that me and Coach Briley, Coach Mike, I don't even like to say it's just me and Coach Briley, right? We've developed a culture in Redbank that these girls are not just the mark of me and Briley. They're the mark of Coach Kundick. They're the mark of my dad, Coach Cressman, Coach Doug, Coach Laird, Iris's dad, Coach Wrights, Coach John Brothers at the lower midget level. It is just, Redbank has had a phenomenal group of coaches coming up, working together, understanding what the end goal is for the program. For the girls' culture, it's been family-based. Since the day that it really skyrocketed this year, me and Coach Briley went to the varsity girls and we said we want to introduce a mentor program. At some point in time in the beginning part of the season, we want you guys to take a junior high girl, put them under your wing, help make them a better person, which each girl has for the most part.
That's a great idea.
The girls wrestling in itself is its own positivity in the air that makes it fun. You know, when I got hired, I got asked, what is the goal here? And I said, there's a 5-year plan. And the first 3 years, it's all about retention and recruiting. Now, the problem with Iris and Kiana is that we are getting a little greedy here at the tail end, wanting to put them on a podium. Libby was part of that greedy until the injury happened. And, you know, watching Sadie and Shai grow to the possibility that they have potential to be there with them here when we go into next week. So we kind of have to check ourselves once in a while on the greed to make sure we're not overreaching and not go past the goal. But the goal has always been we at least have one more year of fun with certain attributes that are going to end up being where we want them towards the end of the year.
Yeah, fine line, right, between being too greedy but still wanting to set some pretty high standards, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants to win. I mean, we push, you know, everyone needs to have fun, win or lose, but it's a lot of fun to win too, so we try to push that too.
Yeah, bottom line, how much fun are you guys having? Yeah, obviously, like you said, there's some moments in practice, maybe it's not so much fun, but you have to have fun, right? How much fun do you have on this wrestling team?
It is a lot of fun because you gain so much family, and every time we don't have to make weight, we go out to eat a lot. And after every
Celebrate with at Sweet Basil.
yeah. After every tournament, we make sure we know where we're gonna go out to eat, and after we weigh in, that's, I don't know, makes it better, I guess.
Yeah, obviously, if it's not fun, right, you're not going to want to come into the wrestling room. So obviously, it's fun. The camaraderie too, I'm sure, is huge. How close is this team and girls who wrestle? I mean, I know, boys, it's a fraternity. I'm sure it's the same for you guys. You really form, like you said, a family.
Yeah. So at the end of practice, we all come into the middle of the mat and we say family on 3. So I think that's definitely like a good thing, I guess. I don't know, having one of the younger girls under your belt is a good look on you, like you as an older girl. You can give them any tips you have. So I think they also are thankful that we take them under our belt, kind of. So.
All right, before we go to our last break, I'm going to ask each of you one more question. In 5-10 years, what do you want this experience? What do you want to look back on this experience and think? As being a wrestler, what do you hope you can look back on and say about Redbank Valley wrestling in particular, but wrestling as a whole?
I hope it just like encourages all the younger girls to go out and try it. Even just, obviously not, it's just because you're a girl, you can't wrestle, now you can. It's like, I hope it's normal for them.
Iris, I'm sure you echo that too, because when you were younger, you were told maybe you shouldn't be a wrestler, you did it anyway, right?
Yeah, I just hope that whenever we're out of high school and graduated, we can look back and say, we really left a mark for the younger girls and we set a good program for them to fall into.
Yeah.
I agree with Iris, definitely. Starting the program, definitely. I want to see it grow.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. We're going to come back and wrap things up here on the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet and DuBrook. When we come back, we'll talk about the big slate of games we have tomorrow. We're going to be streaming 4 basketball games tomorrow, and I'm going to be at one as well. And we'll talk maybe a little bit about kind of the upcoming wrestling tournaments you guys have. So when we come back, we'll wrap things up here. This is the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. I'm Mike Kilroy, and thanks for joining us.
This is a great show.
Hey, check out this all-new 2024 Chevrolet Trax 1RS in cacti green. Let's talk about some of those safety features. We have blind spot monitoring system, we have forward collision system with alert and brake, and we have lane departure warning as well. How about the gas mileage?
30 miles per gallon average. Yeah, it's great.
People really love those safety features like blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning with alert and braking, and lane departure warning.
Bumper-to-bumper warranty and the 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty.
And check out the clarity on this backup camera on this 11-inch touchscreen.
It's great.
Can you believe you get all the features like heated steering wheel, heated seats, remote start, power sunroof, all for $24,900?
That's a great value in the new Chevrolet.
Hey, check out this Glacier Blue RST Silverado 4x4 Z71 4-wheel drive. 5.3 liter V8. It's a really nice sharp truck. All LT and RST Silverados have this same interior. Got this really large touchscreen display, built-in Google Maps, heated seats, automatic climate control, heated steering wheel. We have a backup camera, really great display,
and all the safety aspects. Adaptive parking, adaptive braking, pedestrian braking, blind spot mitigation.
Follow us to Redbank Chevrolet.
And welcome back. to the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet and Dubrook. We're going to wrap things up here. First off, guys, a big weekend coming up, District 9 championships. Talk a little bit about that coming up.
So our girls are a one division, and I don't see it ever, at least for at least 10 years, not splitting into a double or triple A frame. And honestly, I like it being one division. There's one legitimate state champion, but because of our district being so small, we are combined with District 6 and District 5.
Yeah, tomorrow. You go tomorrow, right? Where do you go, and what are you hoping for out there?
So we wrestle in Johnstown tomorrow. I think the District 6 boys are there too. Obviously, we're looking to come home with some hardware and advance the next week and keep pushing towards states.
All right, they're looking for some hardware tomorrow, and we have 4 basketball games that we're streaming tomorrow. We have a triple header at Clarion Area High School. It's Karn City boys and girls are playing there. We got Brookville and Cranberry girls at, I believe, 5 o'clock, and then we have the Karn City Cranberry boys at 6:30, and then we have the Karn City Montauk matchup at 8 at Clarion Area High School. We're streaming all 3 of them. We're also streaming Port Allegheny at Clarion Limestone boys in the 2A boys playoffs. That game's at CL at 7, and I'm going to be covering the Keystone game at Keystone against I believe it's Coudersport. I completely lost train of thought. I think it's Coudersport. If it's not, I'll figure it out tomorrow because obviously I'm going to be there. But thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and good luck tomorrow and in your future. Thanks, coaches, for coming and participating. This has been the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. I'm Mike Kilroy. This show is also sponsored by Dubrook. Thanks for joining us tonight.